Welcome back to the Politbureau. Well, when the ANC recalled Jacob Zuma as president of the country last month, some of its highest sitting officials highlighted, among other issues, the perception of corruption which surrounded Zuma. Now, earlier this month, I asked the party's Deputy Secretary General if the ANC was prepared to continue using Zuma to campaign for votes if charged.
Whether or not we agree or disagree with this, there is a reality that President Zuma is amongst the oldest, most experienced cadres that are still active in the organization. And he volunteered himself to President Ramaphosa that he will assist with working during this campaign for the ANC to have a victory. Now, let me say this to you, Koli, that one opinion is not prevalent in this country on President Zuma. There are multitudes of opinions about what you've just said. And there certainly is a huge body of opinion that disagrees with you and even with us on the recall. There is. And so the ANC doesn't ever throw people away. You include, you continue to work with people. If there are private matters that they're going to have to face going forward, then that is another matter altogether. But I think for now, President Zuma is going to be working with the campaign. The face of our campaign is President Cyril Ramaphosa.
All right, Karima, talk to me. You know, her comments there that the ANC never throws anyone away, she reminds me of the statements that were made by the former Secretary General, Gwede Mantashe, who said there's no dustbin for a comrade. But realistically speaking, do you see the ANC continuing to use President Jacob Zuma, continue to field him to campaign for votes?
Well, the ANC essentially has to ask itself one question. How desperately does it want to remain the governing party of the country? Because that is going to have to settle the matter. President Jacob Zuma is an albatross around the party's neck. It is in large measure due to President Jacob Zuma's association with corruption and state capture that the ANC lost 3 very major metros in the 2016 municipal election. So the ANC's own figures already indicates that in provinces such as Gauteng, it will struggle. So I don't believe that political parties exist simply because, they like to do so. They exist because they want power. And the African National Congress will have to ask itself whether it chooses to remain in power or whether it chooses to hang on to someone that has to answer to corruption charges and, of course, also a judicial commission of inquiry into state capture. I just want to say this idea among ANC leaders that they can always retain even those that are incorrigible, to quote Kgalema Motlanthe, is one that is based on the mistaken idea that the ANC can solve its issues internally and that the country will allow it to do so. Since the loss of power in Jozi, in Nelson Mandela Bay and in Tshwane, the African National Congress can no longer afford to deal with its internal matters at the cost of the electorate. Cyril Ramaphosa, I can guarantee you, is not going to be or want to be the president under whose watch Africa's oldest liberation movement loses power. And for that reason alone, President Jacob Zuma is going to have to be put in a cupboard somewhere.
Advocate Zabez, talk to me about this precedent-setting case here. A man who occupied the highest office in the land is now facing corruption charges. What are the lessons here for people like, say, for example, Qedani Mahlangu, the Life Esidimeni issue, Supra Mapilo, Ace Magashule, in relation to their respective roles as accusations of corruption continue to mount against them in relation to their roles as premiers of the provinces which they lead? Are those people, or should those people take any lessons from what is happening now?
Well, I suppose the most mundane lesson that people must take away from what is happening is usually an answer, a very short answer that I give when I'm asked, what do you understand by this concept of the rule of law? I always say, no one is above the law. is the simplest response to that question. You could be president, you could be MEC, you could be minister. The fact of the matter is that no one is above the law. And for a president that signed laws into existence, I would have thought, let alone the fact that all the time he was saying, I want my day in court, I would have thought that he would look forward to actually appearing in court. And so are others.
All right. Advocate Zabeza, let's cut it short there for a moment. We're going to go to a short break. The Politbureau continues right after this.